Yes. Mhm. Yes, yes. No, that's fine because in the inside script you are redirecting. That is fine. Now open that script cron shell.sh. Just cat it, don't vi. Now copy this command crontab-l redirect this whole thing. Exit. Yes, yes. No, no, not here, not here, not here. Just run on terminal. I don't need to see what is happening there. Paste, enter, ls-ltr. Mm. It is just now created only, right? If you run again, then run again. Uh-huh. Run again the same command. It is creating. Yes. Can you run that cron shell.sh directly? Hmm. Yeah, and run it again. No, yeah. Normally it should work, right? So it shouldn't be that. cron tab, because cron tab will just execute the same script, it is not doing anything separately. Maybe you can check again, maybe it will create. Okay, okay, so you can okay, you can stop sharing. Let me share. Okay, okay, now if what I was telling, ls hyphen la, sorry, ls hyphen la. Okay, so we created one alias here, right? Bash aliases. Okay, now what I will do, vi shift insert, and we'll go ahead and say function, and let's say good mng. Okay, so function you can define in that way also, only function name and that basis, or you can mention like this. Okay, both ways you can do. And I will say function starts here, ends here. Okay, and I will say echo hello $1. So $1 I will pass as a parameter, positional parameter, and that's it, and save it. Okay, now let's say I open the bash again. Okay, so if you see ls-la, what is the name? Okay, and if you see aliases, okay, so you can see this also as an alias here. Now if I just simply run this, right, it will print hello, but if I give a parameter as, let's say, Himanshu, so this alias will give me a result as well. Okay, so the function can also be used as an alias there. Getting it? Sorry. Okay, so this can also be used. So whatever you can write inside a function, you can write it here, and it will process that. Okay, so all things will be processed there. Okay, now next important thing is, whenever you are working, right, whenever you work, so you have seen I am giving permissions, right? I have been giving permissions every time. So if you do ls-ltr, right, so these are the permissions, right? So we do change mod 755 and everything. So with every file or directory, there is a set of permissions. Forget the first character, that will tell you whether it's a file or a directory. Okay, but apart from that, if you see it here, right, if you see it here, what we are having, we have three things here. That is the three type of permissions. Okay, so that permissions is associated with, just a second. Okay, so permissions are associated with three type of things: users, group, and others. Okay, so we have three categories. So these three characters, if you see, the first three are for users, second three are for your group, and third three are for your other user. Okay, other, maybe other users. Clear? Okay, now what happens, you have every, sorry, so every component can be having three permissions. Okay, that is called as read, write, and specifically your execute. Okay, so the octal value for your read is 4, write is 2, and execute is 1. Okay, so when I do 7, okay, whenever I write 755, so 7 is done for the owner, like is the user, whoever is the user. 7 is here, group we have 5, and other we have 5. Okay, so what does this mean? 7 means when you are breaking up 7, so 7 would be combination of your first read permission 4 plus your write permission 2 plus 1. So that's why we say it 7, that give full permission to the owner. Read, write, and execute. He can read, he can write, and he can execute that particular component as well. Clear? When I'm saying 5, so 5 would be combination of 4 plus 1. Okay, so only read and execute permission would be given. Okay, so based on that you can provide the permissions. Also, to provide the permission, the command that we use is called as change mod. Okay, and you can simply say 755 and the file or directory name. So if it is a file name, let's say file1 .txt, it will simply go ahead and change the value in the file. Okay, whereas if you have a directory, so just doing like this, let's say dir1, so it will only change for the directory. Okay, let's say dir1, it will change for the directory. And then if you want that, okay, but directory might have internal files and different directories as well, so in that scenario what should I use? I should actually go ahead and use an option as -r if you want to do recursively inside the directory as well, that you want to change the permissions inside the directory as well. Clear? Yeah, yes. If you don't give R, only the directory permission will change, not recursively. We say it as recursively we want to change. Yes, capital R. Now, so this is one representation, that is octal. Then there is other option, like in the change mode itself. Let's say already I have permission, like let's say what is this permission? 6, 6 and 4, correct? This normally you can easily identify. R is 4, W is 2, so that becomes 6, correct? Then this is 6 and this is 4, so that is 664. Okay, now let's say I want to add execute permission. Okay, so what should we normally I do for others? It should be 6, 6, and here I can do 5. Okay, so that will be adding, but there what you are doing, you have to calculate the permission for everyone, right? But let's say you say, okay, why I have to calculate for everyone, I just want to add for others. So you have one more option where you can do change mod others equal to plus execute. So it is written in this format, so in that way it will be called as R, W, and X. Okay, read, write, and execute. So I am saying for others add permission execute, that is plus, I am plus, and the file name, whatever is the file name. Okay, so if I show it here, change mod and others equal to plus X and my file 1. Okay, so see it has added execute permission. Now here if I now show, so if you see execute permission is added here. Okay, got it? Yeah, other, yes. So same way the category would be, for user you have to use U, for group you have to use G, and for others you have to use O. Okay, this is normally U hyphen G hyphen and O hyphen. Okay, Now same way you can remove it also, -x others, so that will remove the permission, so no permission is there. Okay, you can remove it. Let's say you want to give two permissions here, so what you can say, rx. Okay, so what it will be, now read, write, read and execute permission would be there. Clear? Okay. So permissions are very important. Who is the owner? So this line what you see, this is the owner and this is the group, and others are anything other than these owners. Okay, so they will actually go ahead and access that. Okay, so execute is very important when you want to execute a file or mostly shell scripts. So there you want to execute it. Okay, and if let's say you want to give permission for everyone, so then you have an option as all equal to rwx and my file. So what it will do, it will give permissions to everyone. You see, it's totally rwx, rwx and rwx for all. Got it? So this way you can use. So there are various combinations, whichever you want. Whether you want in octal format, you can use octal. Whether you want in this format, you can use this format. It totally depends on you, which one you want to use. Clear? Yeah, numbering 7 5. So you have to calculate. Read is 4, write is 2, and execute is 1. Based on that, you have to make the combinations. Okay. Okay. So now I will give you the based on assignment of this, that now you have to create two different, one folder from a particular Fred user and then from the other user, let's say Bob or David, whatever you created, and try to see who can write in which directory using what permissions. Okay, so file it's easy, but for directory try to see how it will work. Okay, when you are having a directory, okay, so only the user Himanshu can write it here. Or let's say I will show you one quick example. Let's say I go to temp. Okay, I don't have any file, so I will make a directory here per class, permission class. Okay, so see who is the permission is there for owner. The first three are for owner, then group, and then others. So if you see it here, owner is Himanshu, so he is having full permission, read, write, execute. Group is Himanshu, so it is also having full permission, whereas others are having only read and execute. Okay, now if many times like student ask, it is a directory, what we will execute, because directory you cannot execute, right? File or specific type of file you execute, but why we need a execute on directory? Okay, so I will even show that. Let me open one more terminal. Okay, so now I will say OEL7 class. Okay, and I will switch to user Bob. So I am connected to Bob user and I will go to temp. Okay, so now if you see it here, if I go inside this directory, I can easily go because I am others. Okay, Bob is an other user. Bob is not part of Himanshu group. If I see Bob, Bob is the part of Bob group only. Okay, see it here. So he is not part of Himanshu group, or neither he is the owner Himanshu. So he is will come into others category. So now he is inside the directory, but can he create anything? Let's see, touch, let's say Bob file. Okay, so Bob don't have any permission to create a file, right? So Bob will say it cannot create any file. Got it? Because for others there is no write permission here, so it cannot do any write operations. But if inside this, if I go inside per class and see it here, okay, so what I am doing, let's say I create a file echo hello and I will write it to a file new file 1. Okay, So I have this file. So see, it again has a read write for owner group, but only read for others. Okay. So now if Bob will try to see, Bob can read this file because read permission is there. Read this file, but Bob if tries to write anything, okay. So see, it will say only read only. Okay. Bob will not be allowed to write anything in this file. Right. So now same way like you can fine granular the permissions, right? It totally depends on you what permissions and how it will be used. Okay, so you can restrict it at various levels. Now if you see it here, new file, and but now let's come out here and let's come out here. Okay, so I will come out here. Now let's say I showed you this execute permission. Let's say I remove this. So what I will do, change mod 774, okay, and this directory. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm from Bob. So because Bob is not the owner of that directory, it cannot change. So I have to change it from Himanshu user. Okay, now if you see, for others only read permission is there, but will they be able to do it anything? See, now if I go here and see even it cannot go inside that directory if I revoke the execute permissions. Okay, as soon as you revoke the execute permission, it will not even allow you to go inside that directory. Okay, so for the directories, execute permission is important for traversing inside the directory, else you will not be able to traverse inside the directory. Okay, so many times like as a developer also you might be getting permissions issues, so you have to check whether that directory, that file, you have the correct permissions or not, or else you have to contact your admin or whoever is handling those permissions, so to provide you the required permissions to that directory or the folder. Okay, so this is how your permissions work. Now moving ahead, next thing is, let's say I will go to my again shell script folder. So we have like some commands that are important to be known. So one of those is your specific command called as WC, word counter. Okay, right now you have seen that you are going ahead and counting how many words or how many occurrences are there using some counters or different type of entities. Now this word counter tool is already there, which can be used for specific word counts. If you want to count the words or the lines in a specific file, so what it will do, it will be easy. So let's say by default, let's say this is my file menu.txt. Okay, so this is a file, so these are the contents. So if you see, we have 5 lines and some characters in it, right? So if I want to do it, so if I simply do wc and menu.txt, so what it will give me, it will tell me it has 5 lines, 5 words and 28 characters. Okay, it will display the total details using the wc command. Let's say if I have fruits also, let's say if I do wc fruits. Okay, so here it will show you that how many specific words are there, because space is not there. Without space it will treat it as single. Okay, so six lines, 6 words and 54 characters are there. Got it? But let's say I will, if you remember how to replace, I will replace with space here and save it. See, now the number of words have changed, right? It is 12 words and 6 lines. As a separator. A space is a separator. Space or tab, or it is called as white space. White space is like multiple space also if you put, it will treat it as a single space only. Okay, and differentiate between the words. Okay, but characters will increase. Characters will be different count, but that space will be treated for two different words. Okay, so it will tell you all the details. But let's say you say, okay, I only want to find the line. Okay, I only want to find the line. So what should you do? You can simply do cat fruits fruits, and you have an option that whatever is the output of this, right? You are using pipe C, we are saying WC hyphen L. So it will give you the number of lines. Enter. So it will give you number of lines 6. Clear? Okay. Then same way, number of characters you want 54, and number of words W is 12. Okay, so why this is important? This is important when you are actually working on any specific file processing. Let's say you are checking, your script is only checking whether the execution log file is having any errors or warnings. Okay, so what we do, we grep for patterns. Okay, grep we are going to see next. Okay, so we go and search for a specific pattern, let's say error or warning, and check the counts, how many times it is occurring. Is it occurring anytime or it is not occurring anytime? Okay, so in case it is occurring anytime, so your script can go ahead and then based on the condition it will check, okay, that okay, there is an error found, now please check the log file and fix the error. Okay, based on that you can identify and do the set of action items. Get it? Any doubts? Okay, so I will show you how it will be used now. Now with WC, when you are using WC, right? So it will be used at various places. It is not just for this counting. Various logics also we normally develop based on this. Okay, so you can do based on that specific entity as well. Now next thing is something called as grep command. Okay, grep command is also very important that I keep using. So grep is for checking patterns or finding patterns in a file or on a standard output, right? So if you want to find any specific pattern, you will search for the grep command. Okay, now what happens, let's say I have this file fruits, right? Let's say I want to find a pattern apple here, right? So what I will do, grep apple, and I will mention the file name from where I want to find it, fruits. Okay, and enter. So it will tell me and highlight that this is the line and apple pattern is available in this file. Okay, you don't need to open the whole file. Okay, many times you don't want to open the whole file, you just want to check for any specific pattern or term in that file. So you can easily use the grep command. Clear? Yeah, pattern search. Pattern search, okay. So it has like various more features I'm telling. So let's say I will 1 2 3 4 5 6 y 6 y p. Okay, so I have entered a lot of details here, right? So if you see now the number of words and everything has changed. Now if I want to find apple here, see, apple is coming at 3 places, right? But if you see it here in this file, there is also an apple coming where as capital A. Okay, because I told everything is case sensitive, so you have to do based on that. So if you see it here, it is apple here as well, right? Apple is here as well. So now what you have to do, you can simply are searching a small apple. everything written in small case, not in big case, right? So that will be a problem, that you will miss some specific terms that are there, but due to the case unmatched it will not display you, correct? So to avoid such scenarios, what we do, we actually go ahead and do your pattern matching but with case insensitive option. Okay, so if I give grape hyphen I and apple, so now what it will do, it will become case insensitive. Okay, so let's say if I do it here, so now it will show me all the patterns, whether it irrespective of their cases, whether full uppercase, half upper, half lower, or full lower, whatever is the case, it will match that whole pattern there. Got it? Okay, now let's say I will do some more thing. Now what I have done, I have added one more character, so this become one word. Apple 1 is one word now, but still my pattern will search that, because this apple pattern is coming in this apple 1 as well. So it's not that it will match the whole word, it will match the pattern. Clear? And it is showing you the line actually. Okay, so don't get confused, it is showing you the whole line where it matches. If it has 100 characters, it will show every all the words and everything, right? Like normally I search for in that file I told you, Himanshu, and in the etc password is where the users are there, so it will search me the pattern here. So two times pattern are there, so it will highlight both patterns here in this files. That means my user is there in this system. Clear? Now apart from this, let's say you want searching it here. Now with this there is one more option, I, and you can use C and hit enter. C. Now what it will do, it will only give you the count. Okay, as soon as I do C, it will give me the count how many times that pattern was matched. Okay, so it is only giving me the count there. Okay, now this the same thing can be done in a different way. Either I can use this option, or what you can use after this, I can use WC-L, count the number of lines. So it will also give me 4. Okay, so you can do the same thing but in two different ways, that you want to find how many times that pattern came. So either you use the C option already inbuilt with grep command, or you can simply use the grep pattern, and then out of that you are just reading or counting the number of lines whatever it is giving in the output. So whatever is the output of this will go as an input to WC-L, and it will count the number of lines, that are 4 here. Got it? Now if I use a pattern option W, so now what it will do, W is a pattern that is used, or option to use, to search the exact word. Now see, apple 1 is gone from here, no more apple 1 is there, correct? Apple 1 is not here, it's gone. Okay, it's gone now, because it is matching the exact word. Okay, no more like in between it is coming somewhere, it is not doing like that, it is matching the exact word. So that's why you have to use the option as W. Got it? Okay, so if I remove hyphen I, so it will only match where the case also matches. Okay, I was matching this also, but if I remove I, so it will match only the case and the word. Clear? Next, let's say you are saying, okay, I have these many options. Now let's see one more option, hyphen N. What this will do, and I will use I for case insensitive, and N is the option. I is a separate option, N is a separate option. Don't get confused with the in, right? In is not a keyword, it's I and N separate. Okay, two different options. If I hit enter, it will display you the line number where that pattern actually comes. Okay, where that pattern will come, that line number will also be displayed it here. Got it? Okay. Now then there is an option, let's say, which is called as V. So these are very important options that we use regular. That's what I'm telling. If you want, you can see the man command. You will see even more options. Okay. Now, if there is an option as V, what does V means? So V is actually for vice versa. Okay. So what it is doing? Till now it was doing. If I don't put V, what it will do? It will give me the output as this. Correct? Now, as soon as I put V, it will say the vice versa of this. It will say don't display me this, display everything else other than this pattern. Okay, so it will display me everything else other than that pattern. See, it will show me all the mango, peach, kiwi, other names, but not apple here anymore. Got it? Yes. Yes. But you have to think of the logic, how we are going to use that logic, right? Okay, so grep command I can use in for loop also. Grep only that specific pattern and it will only read that specific entities, right? So it can be used at various places. I will show you. Let's say now grep hyphen v is there, that is done. Now let's say from a grep command you can again grep more. Let's say I am doing vice versa. Now I am from there I can again grep hyphen I kiwi. Okay, so what it will do from the output of this, it will grep kiwi then. Okay, so it will only display me wherever the kiwi are there. Got it? Okay. Now let's say you have asked for an example. So let's say I was doing some for loop or for loop. Anyways, leave it. I will write it again. So in my fruits, right? I want to write a for loop that will display my fruit name and its quantity or whatever I want to display. But I want only for, let's say, banana. Okay, I only want to display it for banana. So what I will do, vi grep for .sh insert hash. Okay. So what I will do for I in, I will, let's say, cat the fruit file, right? Fruits. Then what I will say, only grep me the pattern banana do echo only printing $I. Done. Clear? And save it. Change mode 755. See, because I have not defined, because there was an space, I have not used a cut command or something, so it is taking it as a different value, 30 30 30. So it is printing everywhere where banana is there, that line. Clear? So either I have to use cut command, so to remove and take only first field of banana, so I can use that also in this script. Like say first I will say read banana, and then I will say what you should do, insert cut hyphen delimiter was my space hyphen f1 first field, right? And then save. See, it will now print only the banana part. Got it? Yeah. So you are processing the file, you are not changing the actual file. You are only changing your logic in the script, right? So your original file remains the same, how it is coming from, let's say, any vendor or anything, wherever from it is coming, you are just using the same, but only thing you are changing your logic in the script. And based on that, it will pick the required value from that particular file. Clear? Any doubts? Okay. Now, same grep command. There are few more options that we should see. Now, there is an option grep hyphen I, and let's say we are doing banana, right? I have not given the file name. Okay, so it will display me like this. Now let's say I want to see what comes before banana. Okay, I want to see what pattern is there or what line is there before this line where the banana is there, right? So what should I do? There is an option as capital B, and I can see how many lines I want to see before banana. So I will say one line. So in your file, whatever is the line above the pattern wherever banana is matching, it will display that line. So if you see before banana, you have apple line, apple line, apple line, and melon here. Got it? Okay, so it will grep that specific pattern, plus it will also display you the line before it. So you can have any number of lines, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so again, why this is used or what can be the real time use? So in case you are searching for any error or something, and error might be there, but what actually happened before the error, what actually where it failed, so you might want to see the file lines above that or below that, right? So in that case, this will be very useful. Clear? Now next, you can give any numbers, okay, so don't worry. Next you have option as A. A is for after. So wherever this pattern is matched, after that what is coming, that will be shown you by the option capital A. Okay. So see, these options are case sensitive. So we have to give capital A and give it here. So now it will display what comes after that pattern. Okay, what is coming after that specific pattern. Clear? Now next again, if I want to go ahead and C, so there is an option as C again. Okay, C. So what does this mean? C is called as circle. Okay. So what normally I refer it as circle. Circle means what you were doing right now with A and B, same thing combined together is called as C. That it will show me one line above, one line below. So C is the circle. So now it is showing me apple here, apple, and below line also. So both lines it is showing above and below the pattern. One line. Got it? Now what is the difference between A, B and why C is used? Okay, why C was built? Can you guess what should be the difference between A, B and now C? This I can do like here this also. So this will also work the same as C. Right? This will also give me the same option as C. Right? What is the difference here? Any guesses? Okay, don't worry, I'll tell you. So now C is always be taking a single number. That means it will always be even that it will always take one line above, one line below. If I give 2, so that means 2 line above, 2 line below. So that will always be same. The above and below numbers will always be same here when you are using with C. Okay. But when you are using this, there is no such rule. Okay. You can give one, sorry, one, two after and one before. Okay. So you will get random. So it will show you 2 after that pattern and 1 before that pattern. So you don't have any restriction. When with C, what you are doing, you are getting even before and after, even number of before and after. Okay. So this is how your grep command works. So it can be used with anything. Let's say ls-ltr I am doing. So I can use grep-i fruit wherever fruit is there. So it will show me, okay, I have this specific file with name having fruit. Clear? Or let's say you want to search apple. So what I can do in this directory, if I want to search apple pattern, but in all files, star dot star I will give in this directory. So what it will say, there is no file where this apple is found. Any idea why it was not able to find in this, whereas we have fruits file here, but it is unable to find it apple in fruits file? Why didn't it find? Yes, because when I have given star dot star, so now it is looking for files which are having dot in between. Okay, before any character can come, after any character, but it will search for a dot here. See, dot is here, dot is here. So it is searching from the files that are having a dot. So, but if I just do star, now it will tell me that okay, this is a file where this pattern is matching actually apple. Clear? Okay, so this is how you can match the pattern a directory or a specific file and use various options. Got it? Okay. Now after the grep, we have one more important command called as short and unique. Short and the other one is called as unique. So they normally go hand in hand together. So that's why we say both together. So now what is short? Sort is for sorting your files content, because let's say that they might be the jumbled, it might be in different order, right? So if you want to see the content of the file in a specific sequenced manner, okay, that will be your alphabetically sorted from A to Z. Okay, so that will be done using your sort operations. So how you then do sort and the file name. So see what it has done. Now it has sorted the file with apple, 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 then B, then K, then M in a sequential alphabetical order. Got it? Yes, so it will be displayed in a sequence order in alphabetical. Let's say I want to reverse the alphabetical, so again same way hyphen R, like we were using in various commands, hyphen R for reversing. So that will reverse it. So that means now the alphabetical order would be reversed here. So it is reversing that order. Got it? Okay. Next we have something in the same short, we have one option hyphen K2. Okay, now see what it has done. Right now we have the same thing. Hold on, let me change it little bit. Y4Y, and I will say here R1, R1, Okay, now if earlier what I was sorting, it will sort me in this order. If you see this order, it was sorting me. Okay, now if you see this number second is differently sorted. Okay, so we are not worried about the second field. But now let's say if I use K2, K2 means the second field. Now if you see, it has sorted me the same file but with what, with the second field. So K is used for your second field. Okay, so I have sorted based on the second field. So second field was number, so it is sorting me based on the number from lower to higher. Got it? So see, now it is not doing alphabetical, but whereas it is doing it in a specific order here. Got it? Okay, so you can use it field. So again, space will be taken as a field separator. Okay, but now if you see it, you can go ahead and see that so many duplicates are there. You want only the unique content here, that how, let's say you want to find only how many fruits are there mentioned here. Okay, so what you can normally do, you can use a tool or a specific command that is called as unique. So let's say if I use unique here, unique fruits, sorry, and enter here. So see, it is giving me unique, but still it is not much beneficial here. If you see, it is still showing me everything, almost everything. Okay, then normally what is the benefit of unique here? So unique benefit will go more better when you are actually using it with the sort option. See now what it has done, unique will remove the duplicates that are coming together. Okay, whenever the specific duplicates are coming together in a file, unique will remove it. Okay, let's say I will add something here, vi, let's say at the top I'm adding it Himanshu, Himanshu, sorry, the spelling has to be same or duplicacy. Yeah. So now if I do unique, so see what it will show me, only one Himanshu it is showing, one is gone. Okay, so unique has removed the duplicacy, but it will only remove the duplicacy if that duplicacy is between the consecutive lines. Okay, if it is on separate line, let's say Himanshu is written here, then something is written, then again Himanshu, then something is written, then again Himanshu, so then unique will not work there. Clear? Then what you should do, then what I will do, I will prefer to use, let's say, short. So as soon as I do short fruits, it will go me in sequence. Now if you see, the contents are consecutive, right? They are consecutive to each other, correct? Whatever the output is coming, the duplicate lines are consecutive to each other. Getting it right? As soon as you do sort, right? Now, now what I will do, now I will pass this output to unique. So see, now it will only give me the unique lines, which it was not giving earlier. Okay. No, no, no. See, see this pipe sign, right? If you remember pipe sign, why it was there? Yeah. So the output of this will take as an input. So unique is working on the output. So whatever the output, this was there, right? What we did using sort fruits, that will be the input where the unique will work. Got it? Now with unique, let's say same thing. I want to see count how many duplicates are there. So see, it will show you how many lines were duplicated here. Two, three times this line, one time. So you can use option with C. Got it? So it will give you the count how many times that particular line occurred. Then you have an option as D, which will show you the duplicates only. Okay, how many lines were actually duplicated, which were duplicate. So it will display you the duplicate or the repeated lines that were there. Got it? It will not show you anything that are having the count as 1, right? Only the one that are having count more than 1 will be displayed here in the duplicate lines. Got it? Okay. So this is how your sort will work. Clear? Any doubts? Okay. One last command for today is simple one, just 2 minutes it will take. Now the last command is something called as egrep. Okay, we have just now seen grep command, right, where we were matching the pattern. But let's say you want to do multiple pattern matching, right, that you want to search multiple patterns. So what would be the better option? So the better option would be to use the egrep. Egrep is called as extended grep. Okay, so the extended grep is actually going ahead and matching multiple patterns. So if I want to match, let's say, apple and kiwi both from that file, so what should I do? You have to simply go ahead and mention your pattern apple and pipe sign. So remember, this pipe sign is different, it is just for or separator, or kiwi, or you can, let's say, I will give one more, or let's say melon. Any of these pattern it matches, it will display you the result, and fruits, and enter. So it will match that pattern and display you the results here, wherever the apple is matching, kiwi is matching, or melon is matching. Clear? Okay, so same way the case insensitive will work. So if you see, the capital A apple is not here, so if I put egrep hyphen I, so it will display me the capital apple here as well, which was not displayed in earlier result, right? So case insensitive will also work here. Got it? So egrep will be used for multiple pattern matching. So in a file, if you want to match multiple patterns, you can use the egrep command. Okay, so based on that, then you can do anything, like after that you can do sort, and then you can do unique. So it will display you the actual one out of that particular output, apple, kiwi, and melon, which are the unique lines. Got it? Okay, so this is how your grep, egrep, sort command, wc commands are used, which are quite important. Got it? Now tomorrow we will cover the arrays pending, arrays, and your awk and seed commands. Okay, so awk is itself a type of shell script only. Okay, so we will cover the basic of awk. If you want to learn more on awk, I will give you a link. You can go ahead and read more about awk. Link means it's my blog only, so I have written a full tutorial on only awk. If you just only want to know awk, because awk is itself very powerful tool to do lot of tasks. Okay, so awk will use if condition, for condition, functions, everything awk will also use. Okay, so we will see the one commands that will be used for shell scripting. For awk learning, I will give you a link separately. Okay, where you can learn awk itself. Okay, so see you tomorrow then. Okay, yeah, yes. Mhm. Sorry. Sorry. Find command we will cover tomorrow. Sorry, I missed to say that. Find command also we will cover tomorrow. Find. Okay. Anyways, 2 days we have this in this week. So anything left, we will do it on Friday then. Or any doubts you have, So I can keep a session on Friday to clear everything. Okay. Okay. So no worries. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.